This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids.
What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and we're going to talk about Gamescom 2015, the Microsoft Gamescom conference, which unfortunately was the only conference out of the console developers that we got. Sony decided this year, for those of you who don't know, to skip doing a major conference at Gamescom. They're supposed to have, quote unquote, some surprises or whatever. They're gonna do a floor booth, do some presentations on the floor, whatnot. But Sony was like, no, we're waiting to do any more major presentations. In fact, the next major presentation you'll probably see from Sony is going to be at the Tokyo Game Show, and then I guess the replacement for the Gamescom conference is going to be at Paris Games Week, which is sometime in mid to late October. So Sony's pretty much giving Microsoft the platform, because Nintendo, of course, they generally don't do conferences anymore. I'm not even sure if they're doing a direct with Iwata gone. I'm not really sure what their plans are. Now, they would be, I think it would be a good idea if Nintendo did do a direct and paid homage to Iwata in it, but we'll see what Nintendo's going to do. In any event, Microsoft had the only conference out of the game developers. And so, being on center stage, it was kind of a no-brainer that they would be able to capture the spotlight, but they actually played this as if they did have some competition, I think, and by playing it that way, they did a great job. Now, when I say competition, I mean going like head-to-head with their competitions shows as far as making who's going to make the better presentation. At the end, I don't believe like anybody wins any of these damn things except for people who play games. And I think today, if you were an Xbox fan and love to play games, you won, because Microsoft did a hell of a job, in my opinion. I thought what they did with the first hour was perfect. They pretty much just held to what Phil Spencer said not too long ago about how Microsoft is trying to focus in on their first party exclusives and not really go out there and spend a lot of time and money on the third party thing. We got to see Scalebound gameplay, which was great. Got to see some significant stuff from Quantum Break, which looks ridiculous. I love the way Quantum Break is looking. That game is looking really hot. They talked about adding a new character to Killer Instinct, which is Rash from Battletoads. I'm not sure how big that's going to go over with the fighting community. I mean, it's a nice little nostalgic type of thing, but I don't know. I think Battletoads has nostalgia for reasons that not a lot of people understand, but that's just me. But it's a cute addition to the game. They also showed Crackdown 3, which was pretty cool. Maybe I'm like tripping, but was it just me, or did the camera kind of no-sell the end of that presentation where they had multiplayer, and I believe it said beta behind it, 2016? I'm gonna have to go and check again, because I didn't watch that part of the conference again. I actually had to go to work right at the hour mark, so I missed the last 30 minutes. But I recall seeing something that said beta, possibly, and if so, why would you pull the camera back so you couldn't get that shot? That would have been huge, because people would have been hyped for that, since there is cooperative play and competitive play in that game. So I don't know. It was also nice to see the Scalebound is going to have co-op too. That looked pretty cool. By the way, was it just me, or did Kamiya not look too happy to be on stage? He looked like he was just there because he had to be there. If you guys don't know, he's beefing with Microsoft. He feels like they're not showing him the love that he deserves. But it's good that he showed up and he did the Scalebound thing. We got to see it. Game looks great. Looks really, really good. They talked about some of their indie stuff. I was surprised to see City Skylines on there, but then I wasn't, because I remember they said they were going into the free-to-play around with games on the console. So there you go, folks. There's one of the first free-to-play games that is well known on the Xbox One. Of course, they had to pay some homage to their TV stuff with the DVR. It was cool that they said that the backwards compatibility was going to be free to all. So that's a good thing. That's one area where they pretty much beat out Sony and to some extent Nintendo too. Even though Nintendo has like access to old games, they rotate them and you do have to pay for them, where Microsoft is basically saying, and I'm still waiting for the other part of the matter to come in, but for now we know that if you own the games, the old 360 games that are backwards compatible, you can play them for free. You don't need an Xbox. As far as I know, it's no Xbox Live account. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I'm still thinking, if you don't have the games and you want to play something backwards compatible, you'll probably have to pay it. Of course, maybe somebody will figure a workaround. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see the full details in November. I still feel like there's just that one element that's hanging. I want to know, if I don't own the game, could I still get backwards compatibility? Because it's not a bad idea to actually sell these games like they used to sell old PS1, PS2 classics on PlayStation 3, something like that. They had a chat keyboard. I don't think anybody really cared. The chat keyboard thing never really caught on bid with the 360 or the PS3. I don't know why they feel like it's going to catch on this time around. Maybe it's to draw some PC people. I don't know, but I don't feel like it's something that's necessary. I'm sorry. I'm not going to pay for that thing, especially if correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't they supposed to be making keyboards compatible with the Xbox One as well? And if so, if I have a keyboard, I can get that, or I can go get a cheap keyboard, or if I have a wireless keyboard at home, maybe I can connect that. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, they showed that off. Now, speaking of PC, one thing that I will say that well, there's two things. And the second one isn't really a blight, and we'll talk about that now, I guess. That last 30 minutes seemed to be dedicated to the third-party games that's going to be on Xbox. Wasn't necessarily anything, you know, exclusive, other than Tomb Raider. But they showed Homefront, which looks pretty good. They showed a trailer. I was expecting more gameplay. I was kind of disappointed in that. For Rainbow Six, it wasn't what I was expecting, but still, you know, good to see Rainbow Six and things like that. And of course, they said they're coming out with Halo Wars 2, which I'm wondering how popular that's going to be. But the thing that bothered me, I would say, out of the Microsoft conference was the whole PC, you know, thing. I like the idea of them letting you have crossplay. I think it's great, you know. I think for select games, it's a great idea. What my concern is that Microsoft kept talking about how, like, they have all these Microsoft exclusives that you could play on the PC as well. I don't know how good of a strategy that is to take when you're trying to sell Xbox Ones. Xbox One is doing well. Again, I've always been saying this. It's doing extremely well in sales. It's just not doing as good as PS4. That being said, if your whole thing is to try to catch Sony and get back on top, like Phil Spencer said, I don't know what this crossplay is going to do, if not tank that opportunity. Because, like, right now, I don't have an Xbox One. What I do have is a new computer that I built, which is pretty good. I can play pretty much all the modern games on it. And I could, you know, max out some of the old stuff. I could play games, they'll look good. Anything new, third party that comes out, I could run it, you know. Specs are good. Specs are really good. Damn good, I might say myself. But anyway, so what reason do I have to get an Xbox One now if I know I could play a lot of these games? And they didn't say a lot of the new games were coming, but what if those games were coming? Like, what if Crackdown 3 is coming to PC as well? What if Quantum Break is coming to PC as well. What if Scalebound is coming to PC as well? Why should I buy an Xbox One? Furthermore, most of your older ones or most of your big names are coming to PC. Halo, Gears and stuff like that, you know. So Killer Instinct is coming. I don't know why I need to get an Xbox One, since you have put out there that if it's not already coming, there's a chance that one of our exclusive games, which is unique to our console, is also going to be on PC. And a lot of people own a PC that they could run these games on already. So what are you doing for the Xbox One? I'm not going to buy an Xbox One because I could crossplay with my computer. It's nice that I could stream to my computer from my Xbox One and all of that stuff, or wherever, to whatever room they were trying to say to stream with it. But I don't need that. I have my PC. I can play all your stuff, and I can play with my friends who have an Xbox. So why do I need to get one? So that's one of the concerning things. I'm not too sure how well that's going to work out as far as sales, but other than that, the show was great. I loved what they had to show. Good presentation. Good time, because it was only about an hour and a half, which is good. They've learned to master, you know, the use of time. They put a lot of content in a good fair amount of time where they didn't go overboard with it, but they didn't get too short too quick. You know, you got a lot of information without having to sit there for 2-3 hours. So that was good. Definitely a good show. Anyway, you guys hit me up, let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Peace.